Welcome to Astro Podcast. This is Jody Shirami, and I am here with my weekly astrology report for January. From January 17th through the 24th. We have a lot going on this week, so let's get started. It turns out that the moon will be in Libra over the weekend. Collectively, we'll all be feeling peace and love with Venus, which is in Pisces currently, being ruled by Neptune. And Neptune is the highest octave of Venus there is. So this weekend should be very nice and lovely. We could have conflicts if we get into intellectual type of arguments, because Libra is an air sign and it is also a cardinal air sign. So our emotions will be leading us this weekend towards happiness, hopefully. Venus rules over love, creativity, beauty, dreaming, loving, showing the inner child happiness that a lot of us have and maybe was told as a child not to show it. But Venus is here in Neptune, exalted, wanting us to show our innocence and our enthusiasm for what we love. Again, this is about collectively being happier as a people, but also personally, it's a great way to tune into what it is that you want and what you value. Wow, just as I come out here, the wind starts blowing. Dream out there is flowing out. I almost made before the wind started blowing. So here we go. Also, on the 19th, which is Sunday, the sun slips into Aquarius season, where currently Pluto is at 1 degrees and 30 minutes here. So we will be having a sun conjunct Pluto for the next 20 years. Every time the sun enters Aquarius, there will be a conjunction with Pluto. Just like it happened for the past 18 years in Capricorn, now it will be happening in Aquarius. And again, anything that comes into Aquarius is going to be meeting up with Pluto, conjuncting Pluto. But also a lot of planets are opposite. Like right now, Mars just had its opposition to Aquarius as it slipped back into Cancer we talked about last week. So this is going to occur at noon on Monday, which is the 20th. It will be conjuncting. The 19th, the sun slips in, and on the 20th, it has its meetup at noon, and then it'll be perfected on Tuesday. So what does this mean? It means that the sun, who is the brightest light in our universe, that we follow around the universe, the sun wearing its gravity, as they're trailing behind, spinning behind the sun, it's going to shine its bright light onto Pluto, highlighting these things that we cannot see. Because Pluto, which is ruled by Scorpio, Scorpio is ruled by Mars and Pluto. And we know Scorpions really like to dig deep, and they're detective-like in their way. And this happens to be my Mars card is Scorpio. With this Pluto being shined upon, we're going to really see things that we're not used to. Now, in traditional astrology, Pluto represents the underworld, meaning what we can't see, what's underneath the surface, what lies beneath. And it likes to show you the truth. So even though the days are getting longer, we still have a lot of darkness during the winter time. And this is what Pluto will be highlighting, is this darkness that we all endure every winter. We're still in Capricorn season, where everything is structured and strict. It shines its light on Pluto. We're going to see the underbelly of what Uranus rules over. And Uranus rules over Aquarius. So Aquarius is ruling this Pluto. And Uranus right now is in Taurus. So as soon as Pluto moved into Aquarius, we had the LA fires. We had some destructive weather that's happening all over the world. We have earthquakes, all kinds of things happening all over the world, flooding, massive flooding. So we are dealing right now with the shifting moon into Scorpio on Monday evening after the inauguration in America of the new president, newly elected. The moon will also be joining this party by moving into Scorpio. While she's in Scorpio, she'll be ruled by the retrograde Mars and Pluto. So now we're dealing with deep emotions, what it is that we're trying to sync with the sun, as the moon will also be opposite of Saturn and Neptune as it moves along. So this week is really about uploading our new way of being, because Aquarius doesn't like what Capricorn likes, which is structure, being told what to do, institutions that limit our abilities to grow. So we're dealing with stuff that this week will be very difficult for some people, and for some other people who are in tune to the universe will be getting an upgrade. Mars retrograde in Cancer is also out of bounds. And what does that mean? When a planet is beyond 20 degrees of orbit around the sun, it's called out of bounds. So you have any planets in your chart that's 21 to 30 degrees or 29 degrees, you're out of bounds, meaning that you don't like structure, you don't like the rules. And so Mars retrograde here is very, very potent in terms of changes occurring that can help the collective let go of things that no longer serve us. So that's what the next 20 years is about. What is it that doesn't serve us anymore that we collectively can change as a people? Because no matter what's going on, no matter your opinion about other people, no matter what you think about politics, whatever, astrologers right now, all of us are trying to say that it isn't about that. It's about the collective being humans and how we're all in this boat together. We're on this boat together like the Titanic. And if one sinks, most of us will also sink with it. Now, what does it really mean for us in terms of what should we be doing? Because with Cancer out, with retrograde Mars in Cancer out of bounds, besides being powerful as a retrograde planet, it's now also powerful in radical ways of acting. And again, Cancer is our home, our mother, our nurturing ability. So Cancer here with Mars is trying to protect us. We are dealing with things that we can't see, and Venus moving in will also help us to rein all that in. And for us, the fact that these planets are lining up in the sky, which if you look out, you can see there's 5 planets right now lined up. Mars out of bounds in Cancer, we are really acting in a way that we wouldn't normally act. And with this very long configuration of Mars retrograde in Cancer, it's going to be doing this until about April 4th, I believe. And then it will shift back into Leo. And it's going to be here almost till June, Mars back and forth. So our energy and what it is we put into our energy is really going to be up for debate. Are we doing the right thing or we aren't doing the right thing, right? Because we have to be more thoughtful about our attachments with Venus involved in Pisces. We have to understand that it's a great time for dreaming and for going for your goals. Because another thing that's happening is that this Scorpio moon coming in is going to help us deep dive and really kind of figure things out, but it's also going to make everything more explosive, because with the sun meeting up with Pluto and our Venus being in Neptune, we could also be a little bit lost and confused. And this is also part of the long 18-month cycle we'll be going through, is that we're supposed to be dreaming of new ways to be, not to be confused by what's already being given to us. We're supposed to look deep down and say, hey, as an individual, as a group of people, this is what we want, this isn't what we want. And so the chances of being fooled by many people is right there, and it's there until 2028. So we really have to dig deeply into ourselves with the Sun and Pluto conjuncting Aquarius. Where do we fall in line here? How do we act? And on Monday, right now, is the moment that the light will be shined onto Pluto. And that light on Pluto is like looking really deeply into the earth and seeing all the minerals that we could use, like let's say in Greenland, as the ice sheet melts, and really wanting to do something with that. And is that what nature really wants us to do? Does Mother Nature really want us to go and dig and rape out all her little children she's made in there? All the things she's made on this earth? Is that what we want to do? Is also, again, go and in this century, in this time, in this era, of all the knowledge we know about what we do when we dig into the earth and how it causes problems, where we build our houses, where we use animals. These are all the things that is going to be front and center as we go through with Pluto through this air sign of Aquarius, which is called the water bearer. Now the water bearer, people think it's a watery sign, but it's not. It is an air sign. It is a fixed air sign, meaning that once it makes up its mind, Aquarius rarely change their minds. So even though they seem flighty and maybe not able to be around sometimes, they're always off doing something on their own. Aquarius people just need a lot of time alone because their minds are so full of many things. And a lot of it has to do with the collective and how we should be as a society. It's kind of their thought, because Aquarius Uranus is a higher octave of Mercury. The way we think, the way we act, especially during this time, has to be up-leveled. We need to treat people with better decency. We need to treat ourselves with better decency. And a lot of times with this Mars retrograde in Cancer, we are also looking deeply into our childhood trauma. Why are we the way we are? Why has the world become this way? What is going on? And a lot of literature is coming out right now about the men in our lives, and how when you're only talking about women's rights, men also have rights. So that is one of the biggest things that I believe the Democratic side of this election didn't understand, is that women issues as we head into the age of Aquarius isn't the only issue. It's male and female issues. It's animal issues. It's the earth issues. It's everything that makes us who we are, makes us independent of structures that was in Capricorn season. The fatherly aspects have become very debilitating to a lot of people, especially as these values continue to be valued in terms of they're not doing what they're supposed to do anymore. Because now the government's involved in education, healthcare, and all these things, and not everyone has their best actions to help other people, because greed and evil always comes in, and that's another thing the sun is highlighting as it shows up on Pluto. And with the moon in Scorpio starting Monday night, our collective being is that the moon is going to be in sync with Pluto in Aquarius in terms of we'll start to see a little bit better what Pluto's role is here. We have never thought about it. I happen to have Scorpio and Mars. One of my sons does. One of the people in my family is a Scorpio sun. So I know exactly what Scorpions are like, and that is a water sign. So Pluto rules over a water sign, which is our emotions. So again, Pluto being in Aquarius is carefree of emotions. Aquarius don't let emotions bog them down. And then with Mercury still in Capricorn for a couple more days, our emotions also, our thoughts also are connected to our emotions in Capricorn. So we need Pluto's emotional outlook to really be kind of used here. And that's another thing that's going on, is that can we sync our emotions and our actions and our minds to do the right thing? So there's a lot happening, and as this moon shifts into the Sagittarius over, I believe, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we go into Sagittarius moon. We're going to have much more of an open mind. We're going to be more flexible, more mutable, because Sagittarius is a mutable fire sign. And again, that mutable fire sign represents wildfires. So, and then also the Arctic air is predicted to come down on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and have negative wind chill factors. And again, that's going to go into the Pluto air sign with the north air coming in, and then as the moon shifts around, activating Pluto, and then Sagittarius comes in, activating the sun. We're going to have a lot of things happening again to Earth. Just as Pluto moved into Aquarius, we had an earthquake, we had some crazy wildfires in California that lasted for over 2 weeks, and the blame game has started again, because Mercury's in Capricorn, and Mercury here is going to be ruled by Saturn, and we're going to be starting to point out things that are wrong and what we need to fix. And really, you can't have stopped those fires. They were 100-mile-per-hour winds. They were hurricane-level winds like we have in Florida when there's hurricanes. And one thing you got to understand is the wind is the scariest thing when it's out there, woo, 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 hitting everything. It's very, very scary. And so we have a situation here that no one could have stopped those fires. It was going to be inevitable, because it's always happening in California. And with Pluto moving into Aquarius, the masses suffered destruction. And it's going to affect all of us. All the destruction, because we're going to have to help our people, which we always do, right? So now what's occurring here over America and all the way down to Florida even is everyone's on the lookout for freezing weather. I wouldn't be surprised if schools were closed. You know, there might be some rain coming into Florida that's freezing rain, possibly snowflakes, a little bit north of us, not quite where we are. We're a little bit south. We're near the water, so when you're near the water, the weather isn't as extreme unless there's a hurricane coming, obviously, so can't stop that. Tuesday, we'll open our eyes a lot. We'll probably be still in a little bit of a delusional state this week, and so it's still be careful what you do, what you think, what you say, what your actions are. Try to think a little bit about what you're going to do. Since it is retrograde, it's more powerful. Whatever you do is much more powerful, and with a bam. So really watch that. But the great part of the news, as Molly McCord said, is that with the sun connecting to Pluto in Aquarius, in a land of freedom, creatives are very, very happy right now. People that are in touch with what they're doing in terms of spiritually, this is the time to go out and make your dreams come true. Spiritually, this is the time. We are there. We are at the light. We can see it. And so a lot of us, if you've been having a hard time sleeping lately, like I have, where I was so tired yesterday, I had to go to bed last night early, just, and early was like 10:30. I was trying to get to bed by 9, but it didn't happen. So all these things that's happening and all these thoughts that's happening is because of this light that's coming to us with the sun shining on Pluto. There's this there's this new wave, a new situation happening where we're excited spiritually. Astrologers are excited. We don't know really what's going to happen this year. We can only tell you from looking at the charts and studying history is that all the times these planets have done these, war has occurred, rebellion has occurred, mass hysteria has occurred, people have been duped by fake news. Usually how it happens in the fake news divides us, just like it did during the wars 100 years ago. The fake news comes in and divides us, where we start talking bad about each other, not trusting each other, and basically causing war, civil war, all kinds of wars. As you can see, the incoming president of America, has been talking about taking over Greenland, taking over Canada. These are our partners, and we can't do those things. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens this year. And some astrologers are very negative about the future, and some are positive. I am realistic about the future. I lived in Thailand during the Vietnam War, and I saw how that really messed up my life. And so I think that we have to always keep in mind that we're here as a group of people. Like I said earlier, we're a species, and we want our species to keep continuing on to even be able to explore space and see other things. We're going to have to get it together and really learn how to live with each other on this massive spinning ball that is chasing the sun. Week is short and sweet. I'll be back next week, and I really pray that you really take some time for yourself, because this week's meant for that, and being by yourself will help your creativity. And if you're thinking about doing something, now is the time to start that project and get it out by June. Around June is when the time will be when you can get things out and out there, because things will start to be moving as all the outer planets shift into new signs, which has never occurred before in the same year that has been recorded. So this is a new era for all of us. And if you can go into it with optimism and belief, as we're in the Neptune, Saturn conjunction coming up soon, if you can go into that, and also Venus is going to conjunct Saturn and Neptune as she starts to move into Aries, then she'll retrograde back again in Neptune. So Venus is also going to be doing the retrograde dance between Neptune and Aries, just like Mars is doing between Leo and Cancer. So if you look at the planets that Mars and Venus, our personal planets, are retrograding in, again, the mother, and then Sun, the father, and then Neptune, the water sign, the mother, and then Aries, the fire sign, the pioneer. So we're being asked to upgrade our spirituality so that we can handle whatever is getting ready to come through our belief that nature and the world wants good for us, not bad. Only people can want bad things for us, not Mother Nature. This is what we're talking about. Upgrade yourself. Really focus on yourself, on being a better person for yourself and for others. And love is the answer. And again, you can't see love. You can't see it. So it's there whether you know it or not. And you must believe. It's the only way forward, is to believe in an unseen power that brought you here to earth and your soul. And we're all here for a reason. We've come back here to this time to help the world change into a new dynamic that is much more loving and caring, especially of Mother Gaia, because she cannot handle us going to Greenland, digging all those minerals up for batteries, because again, doing that is still going to cause pollution, still not going to save the earth, still not going to help us, right? It might be a band-aid fix for a little bit, but as long as we continue to burn fossil fuels, there's no chance for the earth being able to handle that in the long run. Well, thank you. I appreciate you, and I will be back next week from Utah. Peace. Take care. Talk to you next week. Bye. Thank you for being here.